She said during couples therapy, "I'm only here because I want the house and the divorce. My lawyer said this looks good." I stayed calm. Good to know. Then I stopped the session, called my attorney, and had divorce papers drafted using her recorded confession. When her lawyer heard the therapist was willing to testify, I, 37 male, recorded my wife, admitting she's faking couples therapy to steal my house. Her lawyer's reaction was priceless. We'd been in couples therapy for 6 weeks. Dr. Philip Morrison, decent guy, expensive office downtown. $280 per session. Valerie, 35, suggested it after I caught her texting her work husband Trevor at 2 a.m. Nothing physical happened, allegedly, but the emotional affair was obvious. I agreed to therapy because 14 years of marriage deserved the effort. Session 7 started normal. Dr. Morrison asked about our communication patterns. Valerie gave her usual performance, tears, hand gestures, the works. Derek just doesn't hear me anymore. I'd been quieter than usual that day. Something felt off. The way she kept checking her phone between responses, how she'd smile slightly when Dr. Morrison wrote notes. Then it happened. Dr. Morrison stepped out to grab water, said he'd be back in 2 minutes. Valerie immediately pulled out her phone. "Yeah, we're almost done," she said to whoever answered. "No, he's buying it completely. Miss Hartley said 6 more sessions should be enough to show I tried everything." Pause. She laughed. "Oh, I'm definitely getting the house." Hartley said the judge loves when one spouse makes genuine effort while the other just sits there like a bump on a log. Derek's too stupid to realize what's happening. My blood went cold, but I kept my face neutral. Pulled out my phone slowly, opened the voice recorder app. Hit record. Valerie continued. "I don't even care about fixing anything. Trevor and I have plans once this is done, but I need the equity from the house first. That's like $340. Plus alimony for at least 5 years since I went part-time for his career." She basically spat the last part. Hartley said showing up to therapy while he acts distant and uncommunicative makes him look like the problem. "The therapist's notes will back me up in court. It's perfect." Dr. Morrison's footsteps in the hallway. Valerie quickly said, "Gotta go, he's coming back," and pocketed her phone. Dr. Morrison walked in with his water, sat down. "Okay, where were we?" I stood up. "Actually, I think we're done here." Valerie blinked. "What?" "Derek, sit down. We're in the middle of—" "Dr. Morrison, I need to ask you something. Are your session notes considered legal documents that can be subpoenaed in divorce proceedings?" He looked confused. "Well, yes, potentially. Why?" "Because my wife just admitted she's only attending therapy to make me look bad for our divorce. She's planning to use your notes to claim she tried to save the marriage while I refused to engage." Valerie's face went white. "That's not— you can't just—" I pulled out my phone, hit play. Her voice filled the room. "Judge loves when one spouse makes genuine effort while the other just sits there like a bump on a log. Derek's too stupid to realize what's happening." The color drained from her face completely now. Dr. Morrison sat back in his chair. "Mrs. Reeves, is this true?" I was venting. "That's taken out of context." "The context," I said calmly, "is that you've been lying to both of us for 6 weeks. Dr. Morrison, I'm terminating our therapy effective immediately. I'll need documentation of today's session, including what just occurred." "Derek, you can't," Valerie started. "Actually, I can. Dr. Morrison, can I get that documentation within the week?" He looked between us, professional mask slipping slightly. "Mr. Reeves, I can provide a summary of our sessions, but regarding what just happened, I'll need to consult with your ethics board. Please do. I'm sure they'd love to hear about a client using therapy as a legal weapon." Valerie grabbed her purse. "You're being ridiculous. This is why we need therapy. You overreact to everything." "I'm going to call my lawyer now. You might want to call yours and explain what happened." I walked out, got to my car, hands shaking now, adrenaline hitting. But I made the call. "Garrison Law Offices. I need to speak with Mr. Garrison. It's Derek Reeves. Emergency." 2 hours later, I was in Leonard Garrison's office. He's a pit bull in a suit. Expensive, but worth it. I'd consulted him months ago when things started getting weird with Valerie. He listened to the recording 3 times. "Derek, this is incredible. She literally confessed to fraud. Can we use it?" "In our state? Absolutely. One-party consent for recordings. Plus, she made these statements in a quasi-medical setting she was actively misusing." Any halfway decent judge will allow this. What about the house? He leaned back. The house is marital property. She'd normally have a claim regardless. But this recording shows malicious intent and deception, combined with the therapist potentially testifying about the manipulation. He smiled. Sharks have friendlier smiles. We can make her life very difficult. Make the call. File for divorce. I want her out. Give me 48 hours. Update 1. Papers were served Tuesday morning. I was at work. Valerie called 19 times in 2 hours. Didn't answer. Finally got a text. We need to talk. This is insane. I'm coming home early. I'd already moved into the guest bedroom and changed the Wi-Fi password over the weekend. Small, petty victories. She got home at 3 p.m. I was in the kitchen making coffee. Derek, what the hell is this? Waving the divorce papers. Legal documents. You're familiar with those. You can't just file for divorce without talking to me. Why not? You spent 6 weeks lying to me in therapy without talking to me. That recording is illegal, Miss Hartley said. Miss Hartley is wrong. One-party consent state. The recording is perfectly legal. Also, Dr. Morrison is willing to provide a sworn statement about what happened. She went pale again. He can't do that. Therapist-client privilege doesn't apply when a client admits to actively defrauding the therapeutic process. Garrison already confirmed it with Dr. Morrison's legal team. This is vindictive. We can work through this. I just looked at her. Valerie, you called me stupid. You said I was too dumb to realize you were manipulating me. You planned to take everything and run off with Trevor. What exactly are we working through? I didn't mean those things. I was upset. You were calculating. There's a difference. Her face hardened. The mask dropped. Fine. You want to play it this way? Miss Hartley is the best divorce attorney in the city. You're going to regret this. Maybe, but you're going to regret that phone call more. She grabbed her phone, went into our bedroom, slammed the door. Heard her screaming at someone for the next 30 minutes. Wednesday morning, got an email from Garrison. Valerie's lawyer requested a meeting, emergency conference call scheduled for Friday. Friday came. Conference call at 2 p.m. Me, Garrison, Valerie, and Miss Hartley on the line. Miss Hartley started immediately. Mr. Garrison, this filing is premature and inflammatory. Your client ambushed mine with... My client recorded his wife admitting to therapeutic fraud for financial gain. Would you like to hear it again? Silence. Furthermore, Garrison continued, Dr. Morrison has agreed to provide testimony regarding the manipulation of his professional services. The state board is also reviewing Mrs. Reeves's conduct. That's... Miss Hartley's voice was tight. That recording was obtained under duress. Duress? She was sitting in a therapist's office making phone calls about legal strategy. That's the opposite of duress. My client is willing to negotiate. No negotiation, I cut in. She gets half the savings, her car, her personal belongings. I keep the house. No alimony. Valerie's voice exploded through the phone. Half the savings? That house has $340,000 in equity. I'm entitled to. You're entitled to nothing after committing fraud, Garrison said smoothly. But we're feeling generous. Take the offer, or we go to court with the recording and Dr. Morrison's testimony. Your choice. Long silence. Miss Hartley spoke quietly. We'll need time to discuss. You have until Monday. After that, the offer expires and we pursue full sanctions. The call ended. That night, Valerie tried a different approach. Knocked on the guest room door around 11 p.m. Derek, can we please talk? I opened it. She was in pajamas, makeup off, trying to look vulnerable. This is crazy. We can fix this. I'll drop the house claim. We'll do real therapy, please. No, Derek, I made a mistake, a big one. But 14 years. 14 years where you called me stupid behind my back. 14 years where you planned to rob me blind. No thanks. I never cheated. Trevor and I never. Don't care. The emotional betrayal is enough. Plus the legal scheming. Pack your stuff, Valerie. You're done here. Her face shifted again. Vulnerability gone, replaced by cold fury. You're going to regret this. Miss Hartley has strategies you can't even imagine. Looking forward to it. She turned and left. Heard her making calls until 3 a.m. Update 2. Valerie didn't take the offer. Shocking. Absolutely no one. Instead, things escalated fast. Monday morning, got a call from my boss. Derek, we need to talk. HR received a complaint. My stomach dropped. What kind of complaint? Anonymous. Claims you've been making inappropriate comments about your spouse at work, creating a hostile environment for women in the office. That's complete garbage. I barely talk about my personal life here. I know, which is why HR dismissed it already, but I wanted to give you a heads up. Someone's trying to mess with you. Valerie? Had to be. Tuesday my credit card got declined at lunch. Called the bank. Someone had reported the card stolen and requested a replacement. They froze my account pending verification. Got it sorted in an hour, but the message was clear. She was going scorched earth. Wednesday brought the real prize. Got served with a restraining order petition. Valerie claimed I'd been verbally aggressive and she felt unsafe in the home. Garrison was pissed. This is retaliation, pure and simple. Can she actually get a restraining order? Not with that recording, but we need to respond formally. Court date is Friday. Emergency hearing Friday at 9 a.m., small courtroom. Judge Patricia Holloway presiding. She looked tired already. Ms. Hartley started. Your Honor, my client has been subjected to threatening behavior from her soon-to-be ex-husband. She's afraid to remain in the marital home. What threatening behavior? Judge Holloway asked. Verbal aggression, intimidation tactics, recording her without consent. The recording was legal, Garrison interrupted. One-party consent state, and we have the audio of Mrs. Reeves admitting to defrauding the court system. Judge Holloway's eyebrows went up. Play it. Garrison played the recording. The whole thing. Valerie's voice filled the courtroom. Derek's too stupid to realize what's happening. I'm definitely getting the house. Plus alimony for at least 5 years. Judge Holloway's expression didn't change, but her eyes got harder. Miss Hartley, your client admitted to manipulating therapy for litigation advantage? That was taken out of context, Your Honor. She was venting frustrations. She was planning legal strategy based on deceiving a medical professional, and now she wants a restraining order against the husband she was planning to defraud. Your Honor, my client feels unsafe. Petition denied. Mrs. Reeves, if you're afraid to be in the home, you're welcome to leave. Mr. Reeves, file for exclusive use of the property. We'll address it in the divorce proceedings. Valerie actually gasped. Miss Hartley looked like she'd been slapped. But Your Honor. Denied. Next case. Outside the courtroom, Valerie tried to corner me. Derek, please, this is getting out of hand. You filed a false restraining order. I was scared. You were tactical. Didn't work. Miss Hartley pulled her away, whispering furiously. That night, Garrison called. Good news. Dr. Morrison officially agreed to testify. His statement is damning. Says Valerie's behavior constitutes clear misuse of therapeutic services. What does that mean for the house? Judge Holloway already doesn't like her. We're filing for exclusive use tomorrow. Between the recording, the frivolous restraining order, and Dr. Morrison's testimony, I'd say 80% chance you keep the house. Only 80%. It's still marital property, but her conduct could disqualify her from equity. Judges hate fraud. What about alimony? After that recording? Not a chance. She might even owe you for legal fees. Too good to be true. But I'd take it. Valerie moved out Thursday. Well, her mom Beverly helped her pack while shooting me death glares. You're destroying her life, Beverly hissed while loading boxes. She destroyed our marriage. I'm just cleaning up. She made one mistake. She made 6 weeks of calculated mistakes. Big difference. Beverly turned to face me fully. You're a cold, heartless man. Valerie gave you the best years of her life. Valerie gave me 14 years of lies. Take her stuff and leave. They left around 6 p.m. House felt empty. Weird to be alone after so long. Found a note on the kitchen counter after they left. You'll regret this, I promise. Took a photo and sent it to Garrison. He replied, document everything. She's spiraling. Final update. Mediation was scheduled for 3 weeks later, required before we could go to full divorce trial. Mediator was a retired judge named Harold Kemper. Gray beard, grandfatherly vibe, seen it all attitude. All right, folks, let's see if we can resolve this without destroying each other financially. We sat on opposite sides of a conference table, me and Garrison on one side, Valerie and Miss Hartley on the other. Valerie looked rough, weight loss, dark circles under her eyes. Part of me felt bad, small part. Mr. Kemper reviewed the case file. Took him about 10 minutes. His expression barely changed. Mrs. Reeves, I've reviewed the recording. Do you dispute its authenticity? No, but... And Dr. Morrison's statement, do you dispute that? He's taking things out of context. Ma'am, he states that you explicitly told him you were using therapy as a litigation tactic. That's not context. That's confession. Miss Hartley jumped in. Mr. Kemper, my client was under extreme emotional distress. Your client was committing fraud. Let's not dance around it. Valerie started crying. Real tears this time, I think. I just wanted to save our marriage. Derek gave up. He stopped trying. By your own admission, Mr. Kemper said gently but firmly, you told your attorney you didn't care about fixing the relationship. You wanted the house equity. Those were your words. I didn't mean them. Mrs. Reeves, I've mediated 300+ divorces. When someone says explicitly what they want and how they plan to get it, they usually mean it. Silence. Valerie's tears kept flowing, but she looked defeated. Mr. Kemper looked at me. Mr. Reeves, what are you seeking? The house. She takes half the savings, about $85K. She keeps her car, her personal items, her retirement account. No alimony. Clean break. That's less than half the marital assets, Miss Hartley protested. The house equity would normally make it even, Garrison said. But given the fraud, we believe Mr. Reeves deserves compensation. Compensation? For what? 6 weeks of paid therapy that was a complete sham, emotional distress, filing fees for the frivolous restraining order. Mr. Kemper nodded slowly. Mrs. Reeves, here's the reality. If this goes to trial, Judge Holloway will hear that recording. She'll hear Dr. Morrison testify. She already denied your restraining order. You're not winning the house. You might not even get half the savings. Valerie looked at Miss Hartley desperately. Miss Hartley sighed. The recording is problematic. It's disqualifying, Mr. Kemper corrected. Mrs. Reeves, take the offer. Walk away with $85 and rebuild, or gamble in court and potentially leave with nothing. Valerie stared at the table for maybe 3 minutes. Felt like an hour. Fine, I'll take it. Smart choice, Mr. Kemper said. Papers were drawn up that week. Valerie signed without ceremony. No final confrontation, no dramatic speech, just signatures and legal stamps. The divorce was finalized a month later. I kept the house. She got $85, her car, her retirement account, no alimony. She had to pay her own legal fees. Mr. Hartley had billed her close to $18 by the end. Heard through mutual friends that Valerie moved across the state. Living with Trevor now, apparently. They're renting a small apartment. Her mom, Beverly, tells anyone who'll listen that I stole everything from her daughter. The friends who believe that weren't worth keeping anyway. The house feels different now, quieter. I've started remodeling the kitchen, something Valerie always vetoed. Painted the bedroom a color I actually like. Small reclamations. Dr. Morrison sent a card apologizing for the situation, said he should have spotted the manipulation sooner. I wrote back thanking him for testifying. Can't imagine that was fun for him. Garrison framed the recording. No joke. He printed out the audio waveform and hung it in his office. The therapy confession case, he calls it. Says it's his favorite win of the year. Some people ask if I regret recording her. Honest answer? No. She was planning to rob me blind while pretending to save our marriage. The recording just exposed what was already true. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Did I lose something? Yeah. 14 years of a life I thought was real. Found out it was just convenient for her, until it wasn't. But I kept my house, my self-respect, my sanity. That's worth more than any settlement.